a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parents.
Hey yo, I'm Raye from Cabin 12.
And I'm a sleepy Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Christina from Cabin 4.
And you remembered your...
Woo!
That might be the first time on this show I've ever remembered my cabin. And it's only because you said it to me 30 seconds ago, Charlie.
It's also because you changed it recently, so...
Well, because it had a fraction in it. If I'm not good at remembering numbers, I'm definitely not good at remembering fractions.
And now you're just like, you know what? I don't claim Poseidon. Like, you're just I'm just gonna be a Demeter kid. No.
Yeah.
You're like,
He
Percy,
doesn't need me.
I'm not related to you, actually. I don't
My
like
poor boy.
you.
Well, I don't remember saying I don't like you, Percy, but it's like girls, you know what I mean?
Happy New Year's, Percy Jackson fans.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
It's gonna come out
We are doing so good.
This is gonna come
on New
out
Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
that's cool.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on.
What if we kissed on the podcast at midnight?
Have you seen that meme going around that's like something about New Year's is a lesbian holiday because it's New Year's Eve, not New Year's Steve.
No, it's New Year's Eve, not New Year's Adam. That was worse. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's cool. I laughed anyway. I'll always laugh for a friend in need. Do y'all have? I was gonna ask if y'all have New Year's resolutions. And no
God.
is a really cool answer.
Guess what?
Oh God,
Never-
I can't even imagine.
Would never keep them, so what's the point at this point?
Okay.
You know, when they ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh, hopefully alive.
Big mood. Yeah, that's literally it. It's like, So the idea of planning for next year, crazy. I can't even imagine.
I feel like
Next year, I would like to finish reading a Percy Jackson book.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're really setting yourself up for success there.
Exactly.
you're doing it. You're really doing it, bro. I'm proud of you.
Wow, thank you so much.
I feel like my problem that at least I personally have with resolutions is I'm just like, you know what? That'll be the thing that I start doing next year. Like, it gives me the excuse to go with like the ADHD route of like, I don't need to worry about this right now. Like, I'll start making that being a thing January.
I see.
And then you be lazy for like the next couple months or weeks or however long it is. Like, I don't want to start doing that now.
I feel you.
Yeah, it just be that. It just be that mood. Ay, ay, ay. But yo, what we got an episode to talk about here.
It's true.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of episode 3? Because I thought it was so cool and good.
Yeah, so
Gay.
cool and good, for sure.
I'm gay. Hi.
Yeah.
Remember when I said I was into Sally Jackson?
Oh my god, I cannot believe this. I mean, I
Yeah.
can. I should have predicted this. I didn't.
Listen,
I wasn't even thinking
I
about
have
it.
2 wives on this show already now. Like 2.
Honestly,
2 whole wives.
Adele rightfully should be on this episode as our resident monster fucker.
You're correct.
I'm willing to bear that burden in her absence.
Like, I think the point here is that we all need to like collectively message her after this and be like, hey, if you haven't seen Percy Jackson yet, go watch it and watch episode 3 specifically. It's for you.
It's for you.
It's
Merry
for you.
Christmas.
But
Yeah, I loved
already-
this episode. I feel like the first 2 episodes were just a lot of setup and build up, and this is like, oh yeah, I found the plot, the story. Look at it go.
So my thought is that now that I've seen this episode, I feel like I know where the show is going and what is different about it. And I think that what's different
Yeah.
about it is good.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree.
I feel like I'm still going to be riding the high of the first 2 episodes of just like, oh my god, we actually got it and it's great. And like, you know me, I'm a big proponent of like, I love the first of things, mostly for like the coming home aspect, the starting the journey. Like, I just enjoy that so much.
I'm very much the same with that. But what I like about this episode is that the first 2 episodes are very, very close to the story in the books. Yeah. With like a few things that get added in where you're like, oh, that's interesting that we're doing that. This one is the first one that is significantly different. And I think that it's different in really, really interesting ways. It's
different, but like in a way that I was hoping it would be. You know? I was like, thank you. You've done what I wanted you to do. Because the book kind of failed me for this. So.
And I wasn't even really thinking about it, like how we can change the optics. Because, like, I'm still imagining a Medusa scene kind of like we got in the movie. And then with this, we get a much more empathetic and interesting take on the character.
You're saying you didn't like, I used to date your daddy. You're saying you don't like that?
Are we talking about Uma Thurman in a turban and a Matrix jacket? Is that what we're talking about right now? Horrible.
My mom referenced it the other day. She's just like, oh yeah, she was wearing some like old lady scarf or something, and that's what I had in my brain, so I legit forgot what she was wearing.
Well, the thing is that like a turban is an old lady hat. Like old ladies wear turbans. Like that is a fashion that was in fashion at a certain point for old white ladies. And I don't know about the history of that garment enough to know if that is like cultural appropriation or like something different that just looks similar. However, Medusa's turban looks like a wrapped turban, like a chic turban.
It does a little bit.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either. Chic.
I think it might be chic.
Chic, yes. I believe is how it is pronounced.
I guess I'm saying chic because of Legend of Zelda.
Literally that's So you ever just like hear a word and then in your mind it gets spelt out? That's just how it works for me. And so in my mind it was spelt out like Sheikah Slate. Anyway.
Well, Sheikah is different from Sheik in Zelda. Sheik is a character in Legend of Zelda. I don't know which one. One of them.
I believe that is Ocarina of Time.
Thank you. Ocarina of Time.
A game I have not played, so my brain went with Sheikah.
They're also a character in Super Smash Bros.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
How did we get here?
Turban. This is all Uma Thurman's fault. Just kidding. It was not her fault. She was doing her job, playing a role. It was
right.
fault.
I mean, Rick wrote it that way in the first place, so
I
doesn't blame him if anyone.
Does it say turban in the book?
I meant to look back at the book, and I thought it said like something more than. I don't think it was a turban. I want to say it was a burqa.
Yes, it is like a complete covering, like a Muslim woman would wear.
Because I think all that they see of her is like her hands, and once again we get the description of like
it says a long black gown with a black veil, which again he could have been describing like a burqa.
I don't think he
that was the impression that I got last time I read it.
He did not use the language, but he might have been envisioning like something else. You know what I mean? It's like
he definitely did Kotora's Muslim though.
Oh, interesting. I don't.
If I remember correctly, that is true.
Probably should have read the chapter if we wanted to get into
if we wanted to get into it. You know, that would have been smart.
Hey, y'all listeners, go re-listen to like one of the first episodes.
Oh god,
this podcast where Taylor and I definitely talked about this. I don't know what happened, but I know we were upset.
There were like certain things of this episode where I was like, I think that's different, but I don't know enough about the book to say it with confidence.
Well, there's definitely a lot of things where I was like, whoa, that's different. And then I was like,
Okay. So let's talk about the episode.
Yes.
I love how we start literally with like, we're not going to explain it. We're just going to go right up to the Oracle. And
I was about to say that slaps. Just bring in media res.
It's very cool. I like it a lot, but I really am like, please, somebody explain something to this child. He does not. He's so young. Explain something to him. Anything.
At least they explain more than they did in the book. But yeah. Okay, speaking of explaining, nobody does tell you what the Oracle is or what the deal is, like,
Sean
in this
said,
episode.
"What's that?"
It's just shown to you.
I was like,
It's
that's
true.
the Oracle of Delphi, my dude.
I really do want, like, someone who's never read the books to watch this show, like what we did to Jason for, like, the first movie. I want that to be done, and I want, like, someone to tell me what they got out of it, and if, like, they're understanding what's going on episode to episode.
Right.
Without the context. Because, like, you know what? It's done better than some adaptations, but I do feel like some things have been glossed over. Like, if you look at the subtitles, it does say, that's the Oracle right there. But not everybody does what I do and watches with subtitles, so...
Well, but also I think that, like, one who gives prophecies is Oracle. Like, I think that's just, like, what anyone would describe someone doing that as. You're
right, but, like... Again, there's also the mythological background of that going on there, and we don't know it. But this is fair.
I don't think Percy gets into it in the first book too much either. The history of that comes up much later.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like, we don't know a whole lot about it. We just know that, like, it's the Oracle of Delphi. It's a mummy now. There you go. So, like, I guess maybe not giving too much information is also like, hey, if we get another season, we'll explain some more things because we'll have the chance to, because we're growing it as we go from this book series.
Yeah. The balance of this show is kind of weird, because I do sometimes feel like all that we do is explain stuff. And then sometimes it's like, well, I guess people will just have to assume that's some sort of prophecy thing.
Yeah, I think when it comes to, like, the first in a series like this, any opportunity you have to cut exposition at all, you take that opportunity. And, like, it's like, we don't have to talk about this at all. All we need is the prophecy, which, can we please talk about how Gabe Ugliano delivers the prophecy?
Hey, have you read the books?
Does he do it in the books?
He does!
Whoa, I don't remember that at all. That's crazy. That seems insane. Why would he be the one to do that?
Okay, so it's actually, I remember this in the books. I was always just like, why is this happening? I guess it makes sense, sure, to bring Gabe back. But, like, it's Gabe and his poker buddies, specifically, that come out of this green mist. And we don't have the poker buddies. Weird. So it's like, you know what?
Oh,
Gabe.
right.
Yeah.
I miss the poker buddies.
I mean, we saw Eddie.
Yeah, so briefly.
We did see Eddie, the super.
Okay, so I guess I don't remember this book at all.
It's fine. It's okay. I will tell you all the things. Don't worry.
That's cool, because I was sitting there like, why the hell did they make this choice? And they made this choice because it was book accurate, and that's fine, and I respect that.
I mean, I don't remember. It doesn't happen all the time with the Oracle, but, like, sometimes I guess her stuff makes weird things happen like that, weird mist, whatever. Or maybe Rick just, like, did that in the first book for flavor and, like, never came back to it. And I'm wrong. So it could have just been a thing. But yeah, so that happens. And we got the prophecy. And of course, we only hear the first half before he has to go to this selection ceremony.
Yeah.
That was wild.
What up with that?
I mean, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
For how they would do a quest.
It does. How do they? In the books, doesn't it just happen organically? It's like, well, obviously,
it's just a conversation.
And Annabeth is good at this stuff.
Annabeth literally shows up. She's like, "I'm coming," basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Leah's Annabeth would.
Yeah.
But instead, like, this camp, we're having, like, a whole, like, ceremony for it, and she has to, like, you know, be picked.
I don't hate it as a change, but I don't particularly like it. It does feel less organic for something that could have been a conversation. I think what it is a chance to show off more characters who are going to show up later, because these are mostly cabin heads.
Yes, I agree with that, because I really just, like, don't think it's in Percy's nature to be like, we'll never be friends. Like, that's just not his energy. You know, like, I picked her because, well, I knew we'd never be friends. And so it struck me as strange. I think he's just like, I don't know her vibes a whole lot. I don't think she likes me. I think that's what I'm getting from him, as, you know, as someone who's also, like, been a small bullied child. Just like, that person's giving me weird vibes. I think they just hate me, actually. Yeah.
The whole first half of the episode before they like spelled that out, I was like, man, why did you pick Annabeth? You do not get along with her. That's really weird. Like, are you setting yourself up for a betrayal? Like,
at the ceremony, he did also say, like, I know I want somebody who's going to make the hard choices. Like,
that
like
seemed weird to me too, though, because he's like, she's gonna do the quest no matter what, even if she has to stab me in the back. Specifically, he says, push me down the stairs. But, like, I would think that you wouldn't want someone like that along if your goal is not specifically to do the quest, but is to save your mom. But, like, I'm fine with his explanation at the end. I thought that worked for me.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's something missing in that, like, explanation from him, and he should have been like, I don't know, like, in his brain, he's like, Annabeth will continue on the quest, no matter what, and I can go save my mom. You know? Like, maybe that's his brain, and he's just like, yeah, well, we're going to the underworld anyway. I'll go save my mom. She can do the quest.
Yeah, or maybe he was, like,
Unclear.
maybe he, like, really just thinks that Annabeth is, like, smart and, like, a get-it-done kind of bitch, because she is.
True.
And so maybe what he said to Chiron was a straight-up lie.
Could be.
Like, oh, she'll get it done at all costs, but he's like, I think that she'll understand and come with me and help me do both. I don't know. It's hard to know what's going on in that silly little brain of his.
We needed a reason why he wasn't gonna bring Luke.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Okay,
we needed a reason why he wasn't gonna bring Luke.
Okay, in this context, Percy does not like Annabeth. It makes a lot more sense for him to pick Luke and Grover. But the explanation that he didn't want somebody who he only kind of knows, who acts like he likes him. He wants somebody who openly dislikes him, who won't call him a friend.
Yeah.
Like, which makes sense too.
I don't know. It is the only adaptational choice so far that I'm like kind of iffy about, where it's like, it seemed weird for most of the episode, but
yeah.
Maybe we will expand upon that.
Well,
Who knows?
and I think it also gave, like, both, you know how at the end, Percy and Annabeth are, like, kind of coming together and, like, coming to terms with their differences. Like, I think that having that micro confession for him, like, I brought you because I thought you fucking hated me. Like, I think that, like, helps with their, like, because that conversation is like the very meager beginnings of what's going to become their friendship. And so I think that having that little bit to give her in confidence, you know, kind of helps that purpose.
Yeah, I agree. I am very excited for them to get along better because, my God, this episode was tense.
You realize that, like, they don't have the, or at least in the book, they don't have the real heart-to-heart till Vegas? Either right before Vegas. Yeah, right before Vegas. The zebra in the truck. That's when they,
in the truck.
That's when they have their heart-to-heart. When they're in their cute little Waterland t-shirts and they're snuggled up with the zebra.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the bus, when Grover starts singing his little song, I'm like, Grover, no one else knows this song. What are you doing?
Because I got me some friends who just can't get along. Consensus. I
do you know
love
this song?
that. I'm going to use that, and I just sang it. I'm going to do that every day of my life. I fucking love the Consensus song so much. He's like, I refuse to. What's the expression?
I've never heard of this.
No, I don't know the song before this. I know the song now because it changed my life. Got me some friends who just can't get along.
Christina, you're such a fucking Hufflepuff.
I know, and you know what I love how much Percy and Grover like puff so hard together in this series. Like, they're both Hufflepuffs of different kinds.
Yes.
I love them so much. And I love, like, just to continue talking about the song, I love that Annabeth, like, leaves and then comes back, and Percy's like, hey, I'm not saying that I'm not interested in a consensus. I'm just saying that I don't think the song's doing what you think it's doing.
Oh my God.
I love them with all my heart.
It's beautiful. It's amazing. When I saw that, I was just like, Grover is a bard! Confirmed!
Oh, yeah.
Yes! We have a bard in the group,
it's true.
Guys! It's here. I love him.
Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about
is best Grover. Okay. Yes. Yes.
He's very good Grover.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
correct. What
in a visual medium, the fact that the monsters disguise themselves as like adult humans like feels noticeably different. Like in writing, I can just be like, oh, that person is a monster. But like seeing Annabeth in a convenience store, like, side-eyeing this woman because she's worried she's about to be stalked and maybe attacked is, like, wild.
Annabeth is like
kind of upsetting.
Annabeth is like, is that fucking Mugen Mullally? I swear to God, I've seen her on TV.
It was actually her sister. I love that they were dressed the same. Like we got because that was like the whole thing in the book is they're like demon triplet like grandmothers or something. Like
what somebody pointed out, and that I had never really thought about before, is that the coat is supposed to be disguised wings.
Yes,
and so it makes sense that she also has a big old trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I loved this scene so much in the first episode. Like when it like transitioned from like being her coat into a wing, I was like, thank you. You understand. You get it. I love it.
And it's like really like, okay, not to bring up the movies, but like if the movies were like, let's make the Mist the dumbest fucking most obvious dumbest way we could possibly do the Mist. The TV show is like, how can we make the Mist as subtle and organic as possible? Which I think is like makes so much more sense.
Correct. I enjoy
Spray this in your eyeball. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I'll have something to say to the Mist in a second, but first we gotta be like Annabeth in that convenience store getting all the candy because she's like, oh, I don't know what they're gonna like. I need to like grab everything. Okay, but what I'm seeing here is like the indecisiveness and also I need them to like me, so I need to like get like all the things because I don't know what they're gonna want. So
I'm not sure
you are 100% correct. Annabeth is autism coded.
I'm not sure if she's worried about being liked. Annabeth
is autism coded.
I totally agree that Annabeth is autism coded. I think that it struck me really hard at the end of that first episode when he's like, have you just been watching me get my ass beat this whole time? And she's like, yes.
Yes.
She was like, what about it?
But I don't think Annabeth is worried about people liking her because like of their whole conversation before this is so it's like it's kind of rough to watch their interaction, especially remembering that they're kids and like neurospicy aside, like kids just already don't have good like interpersonal skills and like emotional processing, and the way that she's like, this is not a group activity, like you don't get to vote, I'm doing this, and it's like I don't really know how to feel about it because like I've pulled that card before, but like usually in situations where it's like very messy or like somebody needs to do something, but Annabeth is like, fuck you, sit down. And I just was like, damn, girl.
Well, okay, so that's also like autism in like a control freak kind of way, where Annabeth's deal here is that she knows how to do this, and Percy is inexperienced, and he doesn't. He needs to sit by this toilet so that his smell is covered up so they don't get attacked by monsters.
Horrible.
To her, this is obvious.
Yes.
And so the fact that Percy doesn't immediately agree with that means that he's wrong, and that she should be in charge.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's just how logic works in her brain from what I'm understanding of the character.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And I can't say I haven't been there before.
Yeah, I do feel like her, like, picking out all these candies is, like, this kind of moment of vulnerability of,
She's like, oh, wait.
I don't know.
She's like, they listen to me, and if I bring back the good candies, then everything will be fine again.
like I need to find out what they like. I need them to like me. Okay, like.
But did it bother anyone else that she was like, "Are chips and soda okay?" And then she doesn't even look. She's looking at candy. Yes. She's not even looking at the chips.
No, she did also. She got candy, but she also got chips and soda. Okay. I paid attention to also, how like, much stuff she got.
What were
she
those
put it
candies?
on the counter.
What the hell were those candies?
I don't know. Like huge gobstoppers or something?
Yeah, they look like.
I don't remember what they were called. It was something weird.
That's some dumb shit that a 12-year-old would buy on a road trip.
No idea what it was. It's just candy. I don't think she got the blue ones though. I feel like she didn't get anything blue. I don't know what to do about that. We did also miss the thing where they explained to Thalia, like.
Yes.
Percy, man, we've all been Percy before when you're like, oh, she really likes that tree, huh? And then it's like, yeah, that was her best friend. And you're like, oh.
Who's dead now, sorry.
No.
But even after that, she was like, she met a hero's fate, and he's like, she met a pinecone's fate. My boy.
Percy, stop being so sassy.
Okay, but it was really funny.
That's a dead girl.
If Percy was my kid, I'd
Percy,
be so
that's
proud.
insensitive.
Percy Jackson has been canceled, actually. Like, the character, he's being canceled.
No. He's a baby.
So one of those things that I wasn't sure if it was different or not, and I'm pretty sure it is different, is that the Furies are the ones who chased them to camp.
Okay, so I don't think they necessarily described who it was. I want to say in the book it was just Hades' forces. Maybe the furries. The Furies were involved.
Okay, interesting.
But it was definitely like specifically whoever works for Hades, because Hades was mad. It was Zeus's kid. Blah 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 blah.
Gotcha. So this isn't technically even a change, and it also makes sense to tie the Furies in with personally with Annabeth.
Like,
you know,
bro. Did I love how much we had, like, history between Alecto and Annabeth? Like, you're not the same girl, like, who was frightened all those years ago. I wasn't that scared, actually.
That was such a childish response.
It is.
I love that for her. These characters feel young. Like, they feel capable, like, in gigantic air quotes. By capable, I mean, like, capable of being our heroes. And but they feel so young. And boy, do I love that for them. Whenever, what's his name? Oh my god. What's Percy's name? The actor?
Walker
Scoble. Whenever his voice squeaks, I'm like, yes, that's my baby. That's my baby.
Literally,
Get out of his way. He's on a quest.
When we started this show and I heard the squeaky little voice, I was just like, my son, I'm adopting this child right now.
He's got me wondering if I actually do want kids. What if it's Percy Jackson?
Oh my god.
What if it's Percy Jackson?
Who knows?
Blessing.
Who knows?
If you had a kid, they would be as cool to you as Percy Jackson, I'm sure.
I don't know, man.
Name your child Perseus. Do it. Name your child Perseus.
It's funny because Sean and I, over some holiday road tripping, we don't plan on having children, so we were good-naturedly naming our fake kids that we're not going to have. And Perseus was on the list.
Hell yeah.
It's good shit.
Oh, Percy doesn't have a backpack in this version. He's just carrying around a shoebox.
Okay.
Kind of wild.
The fucking box pissed me off for so much of this episode.
I thought it was really funny. I thought that they actually could have done a lot more with it in terms of physical humor, because just carrying a box is awkward and funny.
Like, why didn't they throw it at Medusa's face at one point? Like,
or like when they're fighting, just like an elaborate passing around of like who has to hold the box.
Like, we do it once, and I'm like, give me more of that. But like, it's also just the fact that we just still have a giant ass box here. I do think they had backpacks, but I'm fairly certain that they left them on the bus.
Yeah, they lose them pretty early.
Not to spoil the lightning thief for you, but the backpack that Percy has is a magic item from Luke, and the Master Bolt appears in it when he goes to the underworld.
I see.
You mean it's like a magic item from Ares?
Was it? Okay, am I confused? I'm confused. That's true. Never mind.
No, in the movie,
it was definitely fucking
Luke.
Planted on him.
Okay.
In the movie, Luke gives him a shield that gets the lightning bolt in it. In the book, Ares gives him a backpack that gets the lightning bolt in it.
Well, I don't think I was confusing it with the movie, at least. I just confused it in my own brain.
It's fine.
Got it wrong organically.
It's fine, bro.
It seems like something Luke would do.
But like, I just want to know if somewhere in his pockets he has like all the money and the drachmas,
or like cargo pants. You can't see it, but he has so many pockets.
Was he wearing cargo pants?
No, probably not.
Okay. I was like, did I forget something? But I could have sworn he packed a backpack, actually, and I feel like
I think that you're right, that they had backpacks and lost them.
Great.
But anyways, if you've got shoes, just put them on.
Exactly. The biggest deviation from the book, they didn't blow up the bus, guys. They didn't blow up the bus.
I'm fine with that. Give that bus driver a little less of a headache.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel
poor
like
and less money on the production.
We need to talk about the mist and how I feel like one thing from the book is being lost here, and it's the fact that we're not getting fugitive Percy right now. Because like I mean, one, we don't know if that's happening. It could come back, but like he didn't blow up the bus, and then like he breaks the window, and no one seems to notice that he broke the fucking window. They're just like, everybody leave.
That's not something that should be obscured by the mist. That's just a dude breaking a window.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I did not get the impression that was obscured. I think that no one particularly noticed because they were all looking forward.
That's so weird.
It is weird.
But yeah, I think that the bus driver knew that some shit was going on back there, and that's why he told everybody evacuate.
Like, I'm not qualified to deal with this.
Maybe it'll come back next episode.
I think he was trying not to cause a panic. By just telling everyone to leave instead of messing with whatever was going on back there.
If it somehow comes back around next episode or something that, like, there was a kid seen on this bus, he broke a window or something, I'll be like, okay, fine.
Yeah, because the reason that he becomes a fugitive is because doesn't Gabe report that he kidnapped Sally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that he did something to Sally or, like, killed her or something,
Which is a wild thing to say about a 12-year-old.
Yeah, like, even one you really, really hate.
Yeah. But, like, that'll definitely put Gabe in the, like, really, really shitty box.
Well, I was just about to say, like, I wonder... So I was talking about this with my brother, who, I don't know... I'm sure I said this on the podcast maybe, like, the first time I ever came on 100 years ago.
He's a big Percy Jackson fan.
But he's a gigantic Percy Jackson fan, as in, when it came out, he was, like, 8 or 9, and for, like, a year or two, he just would not read anything else. And he got, like, genuinely very mad at my mom for making children with a mortal. But so I was watching this episode with him up at my mom's house for the holidays, and he and I were talking about, like, if they might be making different choices with Gabe's character, because the way, and I know that this isn't like exactly this episode, but we are talking about it because of the fugitive thing, like the way that they portray Gabe and Sally's relationship, just like, it almost seems like they're leading to a, like, he's not like a great guy, but she's just with a guy that is obviously not good and toxic for her, without being like, yeah, he fucking hits her. You know what I mean? Like, they might be really leading.
So we were talking about that. Yeah.
To be fair,
and my take was
Percy doesn't know that Gabe hit Sally until the end. That's when he's like, you gotta fucking, like, get out of here. Like, I have this thing. I can kill him right now if you want me to. Like, get rid of him. But
I guess just, like, the way that they've cast him and played him so far, I just, like, kind of don't even buy that guy would. He seems like a bit of a worm.
So it's also because they've changed the way that Sally reacts to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Sally is much more of a passive actor in the book, and they've given her a far more active role in this series,
which I love.
And
totally.
But it does change the optics of her relationship with Gabe, because it's such a triumph at the end of the book, because she is finally taking agency over her own life, and that's like a huge moment for her. And if Sally did that, it would feel very different. So, my take last episode that we recorded was that they were going to reveal that he was physically abusive, and then go ahead with the petrification.
That's the thing. You cannot turn him to stone unless he hits you, babe.
Yeah. And I'm starting to think that that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know, given how they have played Medusa in this episode, I am not sure that this is the kind of world where we just decide that a guy is evil and we should turn him to stone.
Exactly.
Maybe someone who looks like a monster isn't actually a monster. You don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see where they go with this. And if it turns out that he's been hitting her, I'll not that I want to watch evidence, but, like, I'm going to need some more. Right now, I'm not buying it that he would. But based on their dynamic that I witnessed, I'm not buying it.
Because I'm not sure that this Sally would put up with that, like, no matter what.
And I think it would be, like, very much part of bringing this narrative into the 21st century to be, like, sometimes it's not evil, it's just bad. And, like, leaving a relationship that is not working for you also requires a shit ton of strength, even if it's not abuse.
Yeah, it's good. So Percy has broken the window, and then we get the other Fury coming in the back. Annabeth kills kills her with her knife. Hey, look, we got the knife.
Yeah, that was
here.
a sick throw.
I do really love like watching everyone, Percy like pulls his sword in this, and I'm always like, this baby does not have any skills. So I do really like moments where he's like doing something incredibly unskilledly, and when he's trying to get out the window and he's just kind of like open palm smacking it, and I'm like, baby, no, that's not how you break a window.
Oh, silly boy. But they escape. They get lost in the woods somewhere in New Jersey. They're never gonna make it to LA.
They haven't even made it to Trenton.
I was quoting the musical.
I was quoting the TV show.
Cool.
Oh.
I'm happy for you.
Touche.
Do we love this satyr path idea?
Yeah, it's cool.
I love developing Grover. I'm enjoying the development that is Grover in this show. Hey, this was the road that Uncle Ferdinand took. Oh no. That's when I started crying.
It made me think of like because they're on the East Coast of America, which, 1,000 years ago was native land. And like it made me think about like old Native American roads that were in use when Europe started colonizing America, and like wondering if maybe like the natives and like the satyrs who lived here before had some kind of like relationship. You know what I mean? Just like an interesting thought.
You never know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, maybe they were buddies. So what's that? They figure out things. We have an argument because of course we're having an argument.
It is tense. It is so tense.
Dude, and I'm
not comfortable watching this.
I feel so bad for Grover, like he's just so desperate for this to not, and he's just like, he's trying. I think that he both is trying to distract them and is genuinely very interested in the notion of the satyr pass, and like I just feel so sad for him. He doesn't know how to deal with any of this, and he's just so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Not at all. And then he's just like, shh, I can't smell. Shush your mouth.
He also does get a short character arc in this episode as well as the first two episodes, because he goes from being like, I just want everyone to get along, I don't want there to be conflict, to being like, maybe we do need conflict to get through it.
Yeah.
Can you guys please get along?
We need to do some conflict resolution right here, right now, okay? Come on.
I love everything that this series has done so far for Grover, that the book made him hungry and horny, And while that's a mood that I relate to, I think that for the purpose of like this narrative, the kind of Grover that we are getting in the show just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And they're giving him a lot to do.
Yeah.
They are.
In the books, he was hungry. In the movie, he was horny.
He's a little horny in the books.
He's are you forgetting the entirety of
Titan's Curse?
Like this Grover would never unconsensually chase a nymph. Never.
But would he hide outside the Artemis cabin? No, I don't think
never.
So.
No.
I hope not. I really hope not.
We didn't talk about when he's shoveling poop at the beginning and he's like, oh, you know me, just shoveling this poop.
Is that
like, Grover.
fucking Black Pegasus, though? Like, it's another... Every time there's a Black Pegasus in the show, I'm just going to be like, is this Blackjack? Is this the same Pegasus that Percy saw? I want to know. Anyway.
Blackjack? Just walking through the stables. Blackjack?
There's only one Black Pegasus in this universe. That's it.
So Grover smells mysterious Woods hamburgers.
I would
and
also
then Annabeth is like... As they walk up, Annabeth is just like, it's Medusa. And I'm like, wow, we are playing this so differently.
I'm happy that she figures it out immediately. She's just like, guys, they're statues. Her name has M in it. We can figure out what it is. Come on.
Okay, so I think, a lot of what you have to do when you're translating a book to a film or a show, you have to make changes. Like, I say this with the utmost respect. People who read are readers. They read other stuff. Maybe they read history. Maybe they do their homework at a higher rate than people who like don't enjoy reading. And I think that like when you're writing a book, you can be more detailed and like make more allusions. And I think that if you're writing towards a 13-year-old audience who's very interested in Greek mythology, the game of like every time they meet a monster, it's like, who's this one? That game is like so fun. But I think in a TV show, you're catering to like the parents who are barely watching. You're catering to like the younger siblings, and you're catering to the kids who don't read and maybe don't know as much or care as much about Greek mythology specifically. So you have to earlier on be like, this is Medusa, to get everyone like on the same page quicker. Like I think that it makes perfect sense.
Watching it, I almost had the opposite take of like, they are assuming a certain level of familiarity with Greek mythology in this show because they just tell you who people are and they don't ever really explain it, you know? We just hear that this guy is Dionysus or this guy is Medusa. Or
they do explain.
Medusa explains herself.
She does, but she never says, I'm a snake woman who petrifies people. Like,
yeah.
That is just assumed knowledge of the audience.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas the books will, like, yes, they bring you into a situation and they give you this, they set up this little mystery. And I feel like that mystery is kind of, for people who are familiar with the mythology, it is fun that you can figure it out almost immediately. Yeah. Because they're not that complex of mysteries. But if you have only ever vaguely heard of Greek mythology, it can be exciting to get that reveal. Yeah. And this show has an entirely different writing ethos as far as that goes. It is very interesting.
Yeah. Do you feel like most people know who Medusa is? Like, that's something that I feel like I have a horrible perspective on just because I'm friends with so many gay nerds. You know what I mean?
I feel like the concept of Medusa as a woman who petrifies people is like common knowledge for anyone in North America.
I feel like I can't answer that question because whenever I'm like, I feel like all of this mythology stuff is common knowledge. I get friends who are just like, people don't know that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. I'm just here.
Yeah, this show definitely does assume a certain basis, but I do feel like people have heard of Medusa, but I don't think that they might know that she was a woman who was transformed into a monster. I don't think that that's necessarily common knowledge.
I definitely don't think that the general audience-ship of this show just knows who Dionysus is, which was your other example. Like, that's... Especially because, like, he's the god of very adult things. Like, madness and wine and parties.
I think that they do, like, say, like, on the one guy in, like, one line, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember episode 2 perfectly.
Yeah, it's a fun time. I do also want to know, okay, so... We kind of touched on like how they're taking the whole like ADHD dyslexia thing like a little bit differently. In like the first 2 episodes, we haven't actually said it outright. Percy has these things. I feel like Annabeth like immediately reading that when in the book I do remember her being like, I have no fucking clue what that says. I'm dyslexic too.
Reading what?
Reading the sign that says like Auntie M's like garden emporium or whatever. Like, she immediately reads it in 5 seconds, clocks it. I'm just like, is she still dyslexic in the show?
Yeah.
I worry.
They have never mentioned that, so that's interesting, too.
I worry slightly that they are, as I call Hermioneing Annabeth, because I'm struggling to remember, but, like, this is not the only instance when they have put the answer in her mouth when it didn't belong there, a la Hermione Granger in the movies. You feel me? Like, I fear,
I know what you're talking
like,
about. Smart
girl equal every answer. And small stuff like this, I wish that they could show her being smart and dyslexic.
I do feel actually a little bit of the opposite, just because, like, they didn't use Annabeth to be, like, the whole, like, exposition person like she is in the book. When Percy's going around camp and like trying to learn all the things, Annabeth is the one who's explaining all that shit, and they didn't do that in the first 2 episodes.
But also like that's something that Annabeth should totally know about. So it's like even if they did have her explain it to him, it's like, yeah, any of the campers could have done this. But I'm trying to remember because there was like 1 or 2 other times when I was like, she didn't do that in the book, or like something like that, where it's like they put that in her mouth. Shit, I should have written it down. I literally was watching it and I was like, should I take notes? And I was like, nah, I should watch it with my eyeballs.
All right, so Alecto has followed them. They're Medusas.
Yes.
And this is very interesting. We haven't killed her on the bus, so she's still after them. And then Medusa comes in. It's like, well, we know who she is. We know what her deal is. And Alecto is scared of her.
Yeah, we needed a reason to drive them into the building, even though, like, this is, like, one of those changes that I don't understand why they gave her, like, a fancy country house instead of a diner, and why they were like, hello, I'm Medusa, instead of, like, letting there be, like, that tension of, like, I don't feel like they're safe right now, even though this is a totally normal diner. You know what I mean?
They have changed the scene entirely. In the book, it is a trap that they walk into unwittingly. Well, while knowing that something is wrong, but almost being in a trance. That is not the situation here, whatever. They need to be driven into this place because they already know that it is dangerous.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out why they made that change. Like, how did it serve the narrative?
I mean, I feel like I almost want to say that they came up with, like, the design for her outfit first, and, like, how they were gonna like hide the hair and the eyes in some way, and then, like, figured out the vibe from that. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what they wanted to do there, but, like, I have no problems because I love this, like, early 1900s, like, woman. Like, look at her. Look at how beautiful she is. My new wife is Medusa.
I do think that the vibes work for her as a character. I don't mind these changes. And why I think that the narrative has changed this way is, one, because it's hard to make characters be in a trance in film. It feels more weird than it does in the book, where you can just be inside of their heads instead of in a movie or show where you are like, why are they acting like this? That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I think that that's just partially the medium. But also, I think that the way that they have set this up serves the way that they want this conversation to happen. And this conversation is the most important part of the episode to me.
Yes.
Because, like, Annabeth has to be lucid enough to kind of engage with Medusa about her narrative.
And so there's a new tension here because she has been open about her identity as Medusa, because it was never a secret, because it's really, really obvious if you know anything about mythology.
Yeah, so we go in there because, like, Medusa doesn't like bullies, so Alecto is terrified of her. And you gotta love that opener, that it's just like, I don't like bullies. Hey, you know who else doesn't? Percy fucking Jackson.
This is true.
Already they got something in common. Like, I do love that the other thing that's leading Percy in, like, immediately into Medusa's den is, we got this from the first 5 minutes of the first episode. Sally told him this story and was like, are you sure she was a monster? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Which is also very interesting to me, because she wouldn't necessarily have to do that, but thinking about Sally talking about another woman who was in love with Poseidon is very, very interesting.
I wonder if Poseidon... Okay, so listen, you know how in the books, Sally is like... Sally and Poseidon are in love still, even though they, like, can't be together. They still, like, hold a torch. They're in love still. So I wonder if, like, we're gonna change this by being like, of course Sally Jackson is not in love with this fucking jackass. Like, this was a one-night stand.
Thank you.
And is like, I wonder if, like, Poseidon was, like, telling Sally about, like, this other girl, and Sally was like, I'm gonna go.
I do not think that's where it's going at all, specifically because of the character design. Poseidon is wearing a black pearl and Sally is wearing a white one around their necks.
And his is like specifically a symbol of, like, I think, like, lost love, or like something like that, where, like, he's sad about having lost Sally, and then she's got, like, the matching, like, white one or something.
Okay.
Also, do we not remember her, like, listening to Olivia Rodrigo, like, while like the rain was coming down on her in the first episode? Like, I don't know if she's necessarily still in love with Poseidon.
But, like, she's pining.
I've heard people tell me, like, on other podcasts about this song and how it's not about a good relationship necessarily. So maybe she's, like, still thinking about Poseidon and how that wasn't great. I have no idea.
I'm just curious to see how they make Poseidon good.
Me too.
How they reconcile that.
My interpretation is much more that Poseidon loves Sally and probably loved Medusa at the time, and that he is a person who is not strong enough to stand up for the people he loves. That's the complaint that Medusa specifically says, that she thinks that Percy is not different enough from him because he won't stand up for the people that he loves.
But we know that Percy, that's like the main thing that he do. That's his main thing.
Okay.
Can I just say, Medusa, obviously very sexy.
Yes.
Let's just pick that apart for a moment. Because she's wearing a very conservative dress, so you know that's not what's doing it. She's wearing this veil that obscures her eyes, so all you get is this bold red lip, and she has what I would call like a natural pout. You know, like she's got these plump little, it's like frowning without frowning. And that is very attractive. And then like there's something that is like both like warm and cool about her voice.
You know
at the
what
same
I
time.
just realized she reminds me of?
What?
Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil 8.
I am
the
not
enormous big titty vampire woman.
Oh my
you
God.
guys don't.
I was gonna bring her up because I know that big tittied woman from the internet.
That's the only thing I know about Resident Evil.
Yeah, same. Yeah, totally. And she's very sexy when she talk, and I like her voice.
I know the actress from other things, and I was already like in love with her pre the show. So when they announced that she was cast, I was like, fuck yes, Jessica Parker Kennedy. Love her.
So happy for you.
Love her. So if you, the things I know her from are another Cinderella story. It's the Selena Gomez one. She plays the best friend who wears like a tutu and a leather jacket. Major lesbian vibes. And then she's also in The Flash. She plays The Flash's daughter from the future, Nora West Allen, and she gay again.
Good.
Anyway, just sapphic vibes here.
I just realized that I didn't get a chance to recite my favorite line from the episode, which was when Percy's like, "Do you think it's safe to eat here?" And Grover says, "Percy, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really hungry and I'm ready to take that chance."
Oh my God,
beautiful.
He's so me. It's like you have T-minus 10 minutes to feed me, or it's gonna be a fucking problem.
I love Grover. I love him. I love everything about him. Okay. If we had like 3 hours here, I feel like I would pull apart this entire thing that Medusa's telling us. Like,
yes, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, literally, every time I rewatched it, I was just like pulling more pieces together and more pieces together. Like, you gotta like every little thing she says. She's saying, "Hey, I was raped," without saying the words, "Hey, I was raped."
Yeah,
like, you know,
and I didn't even necessarily pick up on that.
That, like I said, I watched it 4 times to be like, I
have only watched it once today.
But I will say, the first thing that she does say, like, when Percy's like, "If you're not a monster, what are you?" "I'm a survivor."
Yeah,
that is, you are absolutely right.
That language is coded for sure.
And then there's just like, she was what is the word? She devoted herself to Athena. And she's like trying to be like, "Annabeth, hey, we're like the same. Literally, I was you," and all of that.
Annabeth's like, "No, you weren't."
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't like Annabeth in this scene. I feel like that's going to be the takeaway of like Annabeth in this episode and a little bit in this scene and all that. And I'm just like, we're still learning about Annabeth. What we're learning about is
Annabeth
that
was like that in the book too. She was very devoted to her mother, despite all logic.
Annabeth is kind of the anti-Luke in that way. She is the like, yeah, you know what? I haven't like seen or talked to my mother like ever, but I want to prove myself to her. I'm going to devote myself to her and everything that she stands for so that she notices me and that I can like build something really awesome.
Talk about an abusive relationship because Athena ain't never given her the time of day. She's like, "Here, have this hat. It was going to Goodwill anyway. Turn you invisible."
Literally. Anyway, her grand plan is to be remembered. It's also from the musical. So yeah, and then we get this, like, there's so much going on here with the whole, like, yeah, like, I loved Athena, she never loved me back, and then Poseidon said he loved me, yada yada yada, but we don't get the whole more of the, like, evil Poseidon stuff until her and Percy go into the other room, and she's like,
I need help in the kitchen. Oh, you boy, come with me for no reason.
She's like, I always, like, I understand your mother. Like, even though we've never met, I understand her. We're sisters. But what she says is that we were both victims of the same monster.
Yeah.
Yes.
So again,
which I thought was very interesting. Okay, but if the implication is supposed to be that Poseidon sexually assaulted her, then he's an unforgivable monster, and I don't want him in my show. And I don't think that's what they're going for here. I do not think that's the direction.
I hope they're not digging a hole that they can't write their way out of.
I fucking hope they don't go with, like, the mythological cop-out, which, you know what it is? It's, hey, I actually got hit by Cupid's arrow, or whatever, whichever version you want to call him. But, like, the god of love's arrow, and actually it caused me to, like, do this unforgivable thing because love.
No.
They wouldn't do that. That happens in my fan fictions. That's not gonna happen in the...
It happens in mythology. Like, literally, half the time when Zeus is doing stuff, it's because Eros is doing some shit.
But
I haven't ever heard that. That's also very interesting.
Not compelling in a contemporary narrative. You just can't be doing that shit.
That's why I'm just like, God fucking hope that never happens. I want to have more
there's
faith
no
in
way
this.
they would even try that. It
would be like
they
suicide.
are not that tone deaf.
Or maybe I don't know how we're gonna redeem Poseidon, but, like,
I do not think that they are trying to insinuate that he assaulted her.
Calling him a monster and calling her a survivor it's the language.
I need to watch it again.
And I understand that that's the language, but my feeling of it is that she had feelings for this person and felt like he abandoned her as soon as he could get away with it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they're gonna go for. Maybe it's just that, and it's not actually sexual assault in any form, and it's just like, the god loved her, and it was Athena's rival, so Athena was like, you've slighted me, I'm gonna curse you.
Yeah, like, if you're writing a kid show about Greek mythology, that's a good middle ground between the actual myth, which is, like, rape, and then the Percy Jackson universe of, like, my ex-boyfriend. That's the middle ground, is like, he didn't maybe treat me very good, but
there's more heart to it and more fault on Poseidon than just, like, he was my boyfriend,
he broke up with me.
Right. The implication to me is that she feels like she was used.
Yeah.
Because of what happened afterwards, that she was not protected when someone else came for her.
Yeah, and I have to wonder if, like, because this is like I have to assume that because this is a television show by Disney for children, like, you have to take the concept of sexual assault, like, off the writing table. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going there for this show for these kids.
But you can imply it. Like, if that was their intention, that would make sense the way that they have written this. But I just can't imagine that they will imply it with a character who they presumably want us to like.
Okay.
Yeah, that I agree with that.
All right. Well, we got a lot to see unfold, and I have to watch that conversation again, looking specifically for clues.
Yeah, like I said, with that language that they have used in the conversation, like, rewatching
yeah, I definitely
it
see where you're coming
over.
from. I just can't accept it.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
for this character.
If we're supposed to like Poseidon, I don't know why they would go that route, but I'm like, thank you. We've done something for Medusa's character that's so much better than the book.
For sure.
We've given it to her.
My boyfriend.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I used to date your daddy. Again,
Ew.
like, fucking
I would never
hate it.
say it like that. You don't say it like that.
That's how she said it in the movie.
I hate it. Don't say daddy to the. It's his daddy, but you called him daddy. You don't say it like that.
Medusa's character design, obviously top tier. We love her. I was really hoping they would not show us her entire face. I was hoping they wouldn't even show us her eyes, and then they did in like a close-up, and I was like, okay, I guess that's fine, because we can't see the entire face, so the effect wouldn't work. But then they just do it later, and I'm like, well, I'm stoned now. Thanks, Disney Plus.
Do you not love, like, the entire look that we get? Like, I was so glad when she, like, finally took off their hat, and I was like, thank you. Her hair doesn't look like a CGI mess. Again, to compare it to the movie, like, it's like just, like, all over the place.
Snakes' hair instead of, like, Snakes is snake halo. You know what I mean? Like, Snakes' hair. The Snakes like, was hair.
Even when she has the hat on, like, the first time I kind of saw her from behind, and I was like, oh, the snakes are, like, curled into a little bun at the back of her neck. That's so cool.
Cute.
Question. This is not about the show, but about Greek mythology at large. Why Medusa needs snake hair?
Because there's a lot of snake stuff going on.
Snake's so cool and evil.
But she turned people to stone. Nobody gets close enough for those snakes to do any damage.
Hey, bro. You know what else turns people to stone? Basilisks.
But why? But snake don't have Medusa hair. Like, basilisk doesn't need. Like, why? I don't know why we're making her hair like this. Just
reverse Medusa, where it's actually.
They love to put snakes on evil things. They think that it makes them so scary.
Yeah, literally.
That makes me laugh at, like, ancient people being like, oh.
Just listen to a bunch of, like, my In Case You Missed It's from previous episodes. This thing, it has snake legs. This thing, it has snake legs. Another thing, fucking snake legs.
Would you believe
she's got
snake legs?
She's got snakes for hair.
Around
that's actually different.
The belt. Like,
she's the cool one. She's got
snake
hair.
Snake's hair. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
she's like the only one who's got snake hair.
Remember in Monsters, Inc. how Mike Wazowski's girlfriend Celia has snake hair, and when they kiss, all the little snakes kiss his face. They're like,
yeah.
I still want to know how she cuts her hair and how that works.
Oh wait, but she says she's going to.
She says she's going to, and the snakes are like, oh no! She cuts off their heads, guys. She definitely does. And they have to grow them back.
I guess that's how it works.
I think that's how it works. Okay, what else is happening in this episode? I don't even know where we are.
There is no explanation in the show for why Grover gets the flying boots during this scene.
Yeah, he just is like,
so I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, there's just like a cut and then he has them on.
Which is very funny because he immediately flies away and they're rendered completely useless, and so is he. That's very funny to me.
Show Grover is not as pathetic as Book Grover, and I almost wish he was. That's what I was thinking of. That's like the word that I haven't been able to think of for Grover. Book Grover is just a pathetic little guy, and Percy feels kind of bad for him, and that's why he gives him the shoes. Yeah. Because he's like, you don't have a magic item yet. Here's one that you can use. I don't want to wear these.
I mean, he's also just like, I can't go up into the sky. I'm glad that he didn't explain that. They did explain that why are we on a bus? It's so like low priority, and then they're like,
take you fucking like 6 days to get to the West Coast like this. What on earth? There has to be a better way.
They're like, we assumed someone had told you. You can't go up in the sky. I'm just
and he's like, right.
Percy, have you ever been on a plane? I'm very certain.
No, he's
Sally.
Poor.
Yeah, exactly. He's poor.
I'm very certain Sally Jackson, who is poor, and her parents died in a plane. And fucked Poseidon would not bring her child on a plane.
I don't think Percy's ever left New York. He didn't know they have forests in Jersey.
That was so funny. I love him so much. All the there's like a lot of little one-liners that are mostly completely fabricated for the show that I think make like their world and these characters feel a lot more lived in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is that Percy is always very snarky, but a lot of it in the book is mostly in his head. Not that he doesn't stand up to authority figures and say insensitive things sometimes and all that stuff.
The language in the books is so funny, and you have to find a way to carry that across into his presence on screen.
And so giving him new lines to just like give us these little quips from him, I love it.
He's like a little bit dumb, but he's gonna say it out loud.
I forgot to mention it earlier, but like when he gets the drachma and he's just like, I think these may be Canadian or they're for Chuck E. Cheese or something.
So
I don't know.
Funny. Why would they be Canadian, my dude? Like, why is that?
Why do they have gold coins in Canada? Juice? Do they have like gold doubloons in Canada? Is that
yeah, Juice? We have to. We need your expertise.
Like, it's just funny.
Okay, so the fight scene is good and interesting. Annabeth putting her hat on Medusa.
Wait,
genius.
Hold on.
So smart.
Hold on, guys. We have to talk about how we are in the finale of National Treasure for some reason for this fight scene.
I've seen so many people say this. They're just like, it's the same scene. It's the same fucking scene.
And like, why are we in the basement? Why did they go in the basement? Like, I don't buy it.
So we also do know
so dramatic.
that confirmed at least there is a cameo of Rick. He was a mailman somewhere in that basement.
That's so excellent. I'm so glad.
Good for him. Like, good for fucking him. If you are gonna make a TV show out of my absolutely world famous best-selling books, like, yeah, you're putting me in there somewhere.
Twice.
Well, this is his second one, at least.
Yeah,
he was also
I would do
in
the
the
same.
office.
I'd be like, find a way to put me in every fucking episode.
Good.
I believe he also mentioned that Becky, his wife,
His
was
lady
also like whatever 3D scans to also put in there.
Aww.
But I saw something online that said she's like, I don't think I'm in there. I checked every frame. But like who knows? Maybe she is. I don't know. Also, have we at all mentioned, like, we're gonna get to it, but like, Alecto gave Annabeth a choice. Medusa gave Percy a choice. It's gonna come back around, like, in a few minutes when Medusa's dead. But, like, Alecto was like, hey, give up the boy.
Mm-hmm.
Medusa's like, hey, I'll kill your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get what you want. Like, you know? And they don't do it.
And
Neither
then,
of them.
like, actually talking about that brings them closer. Yes.
Yeah, they're forced to reveal that they do share values. And one of those values is loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Puff power. And yeah, okay, the invisibility cap. You just said it. I never would have thought of that.
If you can't see her, what can she do?
Yeah,
Robert was making jokes and being like, oh, does that mean that, like, does it mean that you're blind or something stupid? Robert was very, very silly about it.
Robert.
If you put on the invisibility cap, you can no longer have your sight looked at, which should mean you're blind. Robert, no. I love you, bro, but I think what we're trying to go with here is that, like, she can't, like, we can't see her eyes. Her eyes are what is doing it to us. Or we also can't see her whole everything anyway, so she can't turn us to stone.
So
we can't see her.
This is one of those things that I said, they're Hermioning Annabeth, because in the book, Percy figures out how to do it. In the show, Annabeth figures out the whole thing. So we have not yet, like, gotten any validation of Percy on this quest, because Annabeth got that move.
This is true. She also kills the Fury in the bus. They are, like, kind of girl bossifying Annabeth. But I don't mind it yet. Percy is going to have his moments later. He's going to grow as a character, and giving him the chance to do that, I don't think is a bad move.
To be fair, why did he bring her on this quest? Because she would be a girl boss. He was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need Grover here. I don't know what his skills are yet, but, like, I need my bro with me. Annabeth knows how to get shit done. I'm gonna bring her along. Like, you know?
Okay, his logic to me was more like, ha, she can't backstab me if she's already stabbed me in the front.
True. But
also,
also,
stab me in the back if I don't turn around.
But also, he knew for sure that she was a girl boss because
we have to stop saying girl boss, guys. It doesn't really carry the same connotation it did 10 years ago.
I don't care, man.
It's like fake feminism.
Well, that was kind of the point.
Yeah.
But
this is how Luke describes her, is that, like, she's 6 steps ahead of everyone. She knows what's up. She knows how to get things done. So, like, again, I think there are reasons why she can be like this, and Percy can have his moment later on. And I think that's next episode. His next episode is his moment. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying that as the unwilling resident Harry Potter expert, there is a universe in which this takes them down the Ron Hermione path. And it makes me
don't think so. I don't think so.
So the issue with the Hermione thing is that they give her stuff that Ron was supposed to do in the books. They're not doing this here because they're actually already giving Grover more to do. I feel like they are trying to enhance both of these side characters. And I see that you're saying that they're going to do it to Percy, but I don't think so because he is the main character.
Yes.
They're going to give him moments. They haven't really yet, and you're right about that. Like, he didn't even purposefully kill Electo in episode 1. That was like an accidental. Yes, he except for killing the Minotaur, he did like wrestle that thing to the ground with his bare hands. I mean, not really, but kind of.
I'm just telling y'all, like, I haven't seen the episode, but the like very small snippets that we saw at the end of like all of the credits here. I'm telling you, the next episode is Percy's moment. Like, it's on the arch. It's with the Chimera. He's gonna be like, no, you guys get to safety. I'm gonna deal with this. And then you see, like, the dark circles under his eyes. Bro.
Oh, I didn't watch that. I kind of forgot about it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I spoiled, like, the little teaser at the end. But it's, like, 5 seconds.
I don't think you can spoil something that I have already read.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so then they talk about burying the head with the hat, and Annabeth's like, okay.
When she's just like, pause, sure. I was like, there is no way that is happening. There is no way. She is not gonna let them. She does not want this to happen, because this is one of the most important magical items they have at their disposal. And then Grover, in the whole like argument that they have there, it's like, that's literally her one connection to her mom. Why would you tell her to get rid of that, bro?
Percy's not thinking about that at all. He just needed to explain to him. Which right. You know, I know that she might she's obviously some type of neurospicy that might make this hard for her, but like Percy had no way to like really it was her responsibility to say
and
something.
I don't think she was even gonna be like mad about it. She was going to let that happen. Like, as a person, she's like, okay, that makes sense. This is a dangerous magical item. My feelings don't matter as much as like doing things the right way.
Yeah.
She was like, you're logical, but I don't like this. Like, yeah.
And so Grover was standing up for her as much as he was like calling out either of them. He was also standing up for both of them.
Oh, what a Hufflepuff. I'm standing up for you while I'm yelling at you.
And then they're little heart to heart, like, no, I didn't take her deal. I killed her sister. I didn't take her deal. I cut off her head. Like, y'all, we're here. We're together. We're friends. I didn't think you'd ever be my friend. Guess what? You're friends now. You've suffered trauma together, okay?
Yep.
So when
you
they
get
started,
shot at, you become best friends. You get shot at together, you become best friends trope.
That's how it works, and I believe it. When they started talking about burying the head, I did not think they were gonna mail it, and so when he like brought that up, I was like, yes. I was so excited.
The line where she's like, they're gonna find that impertinent. And he's like, I am impertinent. I'm like, yeah.
I love that. The fucking book.
That's my booty.
I am impertinent.
So
I love it. I love that they're okay. Literally, he got this idea because Medusa was like, "Oh yeah, I'll ship your dead bodies to Olympus.
Right.
That'll prove something to your parents."
So, like in the show, they are adding more setup for everything that happens. We have added the logic that they had is too dangerous to leave by itself. We have added in the setup that you can ship something to Olympus.
Yeah. Which LOL Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I know.
The jump scare of seeing him. Did we not love the elevator music? They have it.
Yes, delightful. And then using that like throughout the ending, like pictures.
Yeah,
And
wonderful.
he's humming it. I love it.
So what I wanted to say about what I think that this show is doing is that the first book feels a lot like a first adventure.
Yes.
The Medusa, the Ark, the waterbed salesman, a lot of that feels almost like disconnected moments of like stuff that happens when you are on a quest, like the Odyssey.
Yeah, a little video gamey.
What this show is doing is giving the characters things to do and ways to grow throughout every single one of those moments. And so in this one, we have connected Medusa more into our not that that wasn't in the book, but I think that the writing is going to be a lot tighter in the show. And that we're going to work more with themes than we do with, like, the comedy of just seeing Greek mythology in the modern world in new contexts that are funny and interesting. And so we have connected Medusa more into Percy and Annabeth's feelings about their parents. And then next episode, given the preview that we saw, it looks like we're going to connect the Chimera more into Percy's feelings of adequacy as a hero. And that's going to be really interesting the way that... And so, like, even the stuff about glory or whatever in episode 2 seems like it is part of the way that they're building up the way that they're going to do character in this show.
I just like this show.
We should wrap up soon. The one more thing that I wanted to talk about is that the acting is like almost subdued. I didn't really notice until somebody pointed out, but nobody screams, nobody yells. It's when horrible things are happening.
I think these kids are such fucking good actors. Like they do incredible. For me, with kids, it's like when you get a tight shot on a kid's face in a hard moment for their character and their face is doing the right things, like that's incredible to me. And like watching the nuances of like Leah's face when she's like processing these things, you know what she's thinking, but it's so quick, you know? Like they're so good.
They are. They're doing a great job.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
What I realized it reminded me of was Lockwood & Co. The directing of these child actors kind of seems similar to me.
This other show that you've recommended to me before.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
I believe it's on Netflix. It's about kids who fight ghosts. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So it just has a similar directing style, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I just like want to mention is like, I mean, we kill like Alecto again at the end of the episode, even though she's already died before in this.
Keep killing her.
Show.
Keep killing her till it sticks.
Yay! We kill her with the head of Medusa. We did it. We killed something with the head, and then we mail it off. I always love when shows do this thing where like they're talking about something in the background and then it becomes voiceover and then we have like the show of like that thing happening where Grover's just like, oh yeah, like the monsters, like they don't just smell this thing. And then Percy's like, they smell fear? Like, no, it's not just that. It's not bees. It's not, they're not bees.
The dialogue, the writing in this is so good.
It really is.
The dialogue is so good.
That's amazing. Yeah, like the things that they sense, that's a new thing. It's very cool that they can like sense your inadequacy, sense like, I guess maybe your fatal flaw. Maybe they're sensing Annabeth's hubris. I'm thinking.
Oh my god.
But like the fact that he's like, nothing can stop them, not even death. Cut to Mrs. Dodds, like taking the newspaper
and not
down.
Particularly explaining that they like come back after this long or however. You get it. That's all you actually needed.
Yeah, you don't.
Was to be like, yeah.
I was like, as I was rewatching it like the second time, I was just like, did they ever really explain that thing? Like how they come back? Oh, they do, but it's like so subtle and it's so good. I enjoy it. I like this show, guys.
I do too.
It's very good.
I'm really, surprised. I guess like I'm delighted.
Right, me too.
I'm just
like I kind of can't believe how good it is.
Yeah,
it's meeting the expectations that I set. So
is this how people felt when One Piece live action was coming out? Because I get it now.
I assume so.
All right. Tina, you want to tell us about yourself and where we can find you on the internet?
Yes.
Tell us about your things. Don't you have like that podcast? I think it's like...
Don't you like own a podcast network? Wild.
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
have I told you guys about that?
Yeah, no, never. Never in our lives. Can we join it?
Okay, you're going to have to message me about that privately. Obviously, along with Of the Eldest Gods, I am on Deus Ex Media. I have my podcast, Burn Before Reading, which is now my primary podcast that I say first.
Yay.
Where we were roasting your high school writing and talking about other cringy literary topics. Recently, we've covered Pride and Prejudice proposals. That one was a lot of fun. We're working on some cool stuff for the new year. You can also check me out on the restricted section if you fuck with Harry Potter, and if you don't, good for you, buddy. Also, please pre-order my book, Indie Book Publishing from Start to Finish, it's going to be awesome. It comes out on January 9th. Pre-order it. You can get it on Bookshop, Amazon, wherever you get books. And if you want a signed copy, hit me up. I might be able to hook you up with one. And by hook you up, I mean you have to still pay me. But I can hook you up with a signed one if you pay for it.
Nice.
I think I know what I'm gonna have to do. Like next time I see you, I'll just like bring your book up to you and be like, "Hey, can you sign this?"
I will. I'll sign anything. God, that's like really
anything
trippy because it's
anything?
like I'm not Nicole Kidman. Like, what am I out here signing things for?
You are Christina Kann. That's who you are.
Kann. That's why I didn't take my husband's last name, because Christina Kann doesn't
because
have
your
a
name is
certain ring
iconic.
to it.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Iconic. I love it.
Good.
Do you have a media that you'd like to plug for us today?
I literally almost just said the new Percy Jackson show is pretty good. I will plug, because I only have read holiday books recently, and you don't want to read those because it's not the holidays anymore. So
they're just ending.
Ooh, I'm actually gonna plug. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna plug crocheting, because I recently taught myself how to crochet, because I have a very hard time during like movies and TV, during podcasting. Like I have a very, very hard time not moving my body while my brain is doing something. And like, you know, if you're podcasting, you can't just be around on your desk. So
we love the sound effects.
If you're working with one needle and some yarn, that shit is silent. And
yeah, it is.
I have found it pretty easy to figure out how to do this. So with some shout out to Mary Clay for drunkenly being like, "You did this really wrong," and setting me back on track. So I definitely recommend picking up crochet if you're looking for something to do with your hands. And I'll tell you that I have like small muscle use aversion. Like I get very fed up very quickly with like tiny things like embroidery.
Valid.
Like my muscles seize, but I find this to like not be that way for me. So give it a try.
As the local fiber arts person, let me say, join us, join us.
Crochet all day, honey.
Amazing.
Heck yeah.
Well, I've got a plug. I found a new artist recently that I would very much like to plug. You know what's fun? I always just like end up going onto Pinterest, just because it sends me the notification, and I'm like, I just gotta get rid of that. And then I go down a rabbit hole by accident, so this is why I keep going on Pinterest. But I found some cute art, and then I started following a person, because I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. I like it. The artist is called wolfythewitch. They do some Greek mythology art. Whoa, you never would have guessed that.
I wonder how that ended up in your algorithm. That's so weird.
You know what? I wonder. I really wonder. I think one of their favorites seems to be drawing Odysseus, because I see a lot of Odysseus all over here. It's not just the gods, my dudes. It's all of the characters. They got cool designs for them. I found their Tumblr and their Instagram is same handle. Yeah, just very, very, very cool stuff. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
We enjoy.
I wanted to recommend the YouTuber Dominic Noble. He does a video series called Lost in Adaptation, where he talks about books and how they've been adapted into film, mostly.
Is he covering this?
And like, yeah, he has covered both of the Percy Jackson films, and he has started a series. He's not sure if he's going to continue it. I think it's probably going to get enough engagement that he's going to want to. But he did cover the first 2 episodes of this show, and so that's kind of why I'm bringing him up. He's very fun and cool.
Hell yeah.
Don't die, as you say.
I will always fucking die. Every time.
Speaking of which, why don't you release us from this mortal coil?
Please. Set me free! Kick out the window of this bus so I may escape.
Well, I guess I'll fucking do that. Get out of my fucking cabin. We're on
bus.
a quest.
Get out of my bus.
Yeah, just like break the window of my cabin while I am explaining to you that, hey, guess what my new crack ship is? It is Sally and Medusa. They are sister wives, but actually just wives.
Oh boy.
Listen. My new fanfic ideas, that'll just be it, okay?
All right, we gotta get out of here.
No, never. Okay, bye.
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 Thank you to Matt for being our God Tier, God Complex Patreon supporter. You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr, and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send us an iris message through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about episodes and anything Percy Jackson related. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology. No promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can find me, Raye, at HeyHeyRaye, spelled R-A-Y-E, on Twitter. If you want to hear more from me, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
And you can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mac. That's M-A-C-K. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Burn Before Reading, a podcast about shiterature, where your hosts, Christina and Leela, cringe about writing.
I'm Christina Kann.
And I'm Leela Hilton.
And this is Burn Before Reading,
the podcast about shiterature.
We're here to examine the terrible writing we did when we were younger.
Like that school project you were really proud of.
Or that poem you wrote when you got dumped.
Well, how about that apology letter you wrote to your mom when you got into that fight?
Or the song you recorded before you knew how to write music.
Okay, don't at me. And we're here to talk about other cringy literary topics along the way.
Like the Library of Alexandria.
And Dewey Decimal.
His name was Melville Dewey.
Oh, well, do we want to get the clips rolling?
I don't think I ever recovered from this in terms of being cool.
Why did I say any of this?
I do like the drama.
So there is actually quite a bit to unpack here.
Oh, all this drama was so addictive as a teenager.
There's no punctuation to it. I'll start with that.
I actually have no memory of this.
There were so many lies that I was telling it.
It's not terrible.
No one really taught me how to write a good short story.
That was a journey.
Listen to Burn Before Reading
every Wednesday, wherever pods are cast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday. Hold up, I'm gonna fart before we start.
I've started playing Guess My Fart. When you have one in the chamber, whoever's around you, you be like, guess my fart, and then they can guess and be like, burk, and then you fart and see if it sounds the way they predicted. Sean doesn't love that one, but my girlfriend thinks it's very funny.
Oh, that's lovely.
Deus Ex Media.